Woo, this is something that comes up all the time with patients and clients when we're just shooting the shit, talking. It seems that most people struggle to be in the moment and live in the moment and experience the moment. We're all so hustle and bustle thinking about the next thing. Is the laundry done? Do I need to get gas? Oh, I need to text this person back. Oh, shoot. Did I forget this? Did I forget that? What am I doing on Sunday? Should I commit to these plans? Oh my gosh, I forgot to do my exercises. Do I have 20 minutes to work out? I mean, the list goes on and on. My husband tells me that my brain is like Vegas. And he goes, it's kind of a scary place. I really want to live up there. Yeah, speaking of that, the concept that guys can think about nothing blows my mind. My brain has never thought about nothing. Even when I actually have been in the zone good at meditating, I'm still either thinking about breath or counting or something. Nothing is just, sounds amazing, kind of. But then I think it would scare me a little bit. Wild. So, why is it so hard to be intentional in the moment? I'm going to tell you, I have no idea because I'm still working on it. But it's a topic I wanted to talk about today, and being in the moment does change your experiences, changes your joy. And then when I'm working with professional athletes and even the celebrities, like when we're working on vocal stuff, when we can get in the moment and focus on the moment and the performance training and even healing if you're injured or whatever, we get that edge. That is where the magic happens, and it's fucking incredible.
The goal here is to learn how to treat your mind and body like a professional athlete. Welcome to Mind Your Body. I'm Dr. Audra Lance. I'm a doctor of chiropractic who specializes in treating sports and non-surgical injuries, anything that involves muscles and joints. I treat big-name celebrities and professional athletes. Most of my patients refer to me as the witch doctor because they can't explain any other way their pain was removed that quickly. I hate cooking, but I do love wine, and don't even think about giving me anything that involves ketchup because I will not eat it. Every episode of this show is designed to help you move better, live better, and feel better. Now let's go do this thing.
So we just got back from one of my dream trips. If you're on MTR Weekly, my Training Room Weekly newsletter, it's free. I send stories, client experiences, recommendations, some of the stuff that you're not going to see on my Instagram page or hear on here. So head to mytrainingroom.co, sign up for the MTR Weekly. It's free. It's fun. Just pops in your inbox. Hopefully it'll brighten your day and give you some education. Anyways, we just got back from Italy, one of my dream vacations, and there were two stories I want to talk to you about living in the moment and how that just once again changed my perspective. But it also helped my anxiety. I mean, hello, amazing. If you're following the trip a little bit on Instagram, I took a survey asking if you wanted to hear the biking story. It was a resounding yes. So we're going to start with that one. If you don't follow me on Instagram, head to Dr. Audra Lance and click follow. And I post a little bit of behind the scenes of my life. And it's not just treating. It's, kind of how I go with the flow, the way I live. So the biking story. There was one of these options. We were in the Chianti region of Tuscany, which I also didn't know that Florence is part of Tuscany. Florence is the capital of Tuscany. The locals were explaining to us, everyone from the U.S. comes over and thinks they're either going to Florence or Tuscany. It's all the Tuscany region. So, learning something every day. I love it. So we were staying out in the countryside in the Chianti region. We love red wine. So there was this option to sign up for this bike tour for the day, and you could stop at a winery and get lunch. We're not huge bikers on an everyday basis. It's not like we're cyclists, but I mean, who doesn't like to get on a bike and do a little exercise and feel good. So I was like, oh, this will be great. This will probably be a little easy peasy. I'm sure this isn't going to be difficult. We're in shape. We work out. They come pick us up. The guy comes in, super kind, super nice, but he's wearing essentially like, I've worked with Team USA, and it looked like the cyclist outfit, Team USA, but Team Italy. And I'm like, uh-oh. And my husband goes, what'd you get us into? Oh my God. And he's like, okay, so we're going to bike the country region. We're going to see all these different angles, the views. We're going to stop at this winery. Then, there's different spots where we could stop for lunch, blah, blah, blah. But all day. This ended up being like a 9-hour experience. And I mean, if I commit to something, I'm going to do it. So I was just pumping myself up. And these bikes happen to be electric bikes. But if you know my husband and I, we're like a little stubborn, but definitely in different ways. Or a lot stubborn. Whatever your opinion is. And we're both like, no, we're not going to use the electric park. We got this. We're going to pump through. We're in shape. We got this. Well, I'm so glad these bikes had an electric portion, because I mean, some of these hills, getting up to the top to see these gorgeous villas and this view, I mean, don't get me wrong, it was worth it. But I was like, whew, this is tough. So we get up to this one villa. This is probably like the second hill. And I'm just, thinking to myself, look at this. This is beautiful. Like, be in the moment, like listening to the sounds. So now we get to go down the hill, which obviously is way easier. So as we're going down the hill, I'm like having a freaking blast, thinking about it, looking around, smiling. Oh my God, my cheeks hurt from smiling. I had sunglasses on, was just looking ahead, and I even was trying to concentrate on nasal breathing because there was no way I was able to do it going up the hill. So as we're going down, I'm like, in through your nose, out through your nose, in through your nose, breathe all the way down into your butthole into the seat. And oh my God, my butt was already sore an hour and a half in, because obviously the Peloton bike does not prepare you for biking the trails of Italy, or at least the classes I take. So riding down, flying down, smiling, looking, feeling the breeze. All of a sudden, a bug flies in my eye. My nose starts running from the bug in my eye. My eyes start crying because the bug's in my eye. Then another bug flew in my mouth. I almost wrecked. I accidentally at the bottom ran into the guide, and he fell over. I'm laughing hysterically, but then I feel terrible. I'm like, oh my gosh, I just hit our guy. Poor guy. Like, I didn't even mean to. It's just, oh, my seat's a little too high, but I'm too stubborn to lower it because I already committed and told him it was okay. And I felt bad. People pleaser. All of these things are just going on. And Josh just goes, well, not surprised. I mean, living in the moment, and then it slaps me in the face. But it was so enjoyable. It was so fun. Then we're going up the hill the other way. Finally get it together. Like, all right, here we go. And, you have to shift gears and all stuff. And I'm doing it. I can take direction, and I listen, and I want to win, and I want to succeed. That is my personality. So I can take constructive criticism. I can listen and learn. So I'm shifting how you're supposed to. All of a sudden, I'm like, what the heck just happened? My chain broke. So we get off the bikes, and he's like, I'll take this one back, get you a new bike. He's like, I'll just be 10 minutes. So he leaves Josh and I up there, great view. Josh looks at me and he's like, your helmet's on backwards. I'd been riding the whole trip, probably 2 hours in at this point, with my helmet on backwards. I mean, oopsie. So it was just one thing after another, but like the belly laughs, living in the moment. I wasn't worried about if the house was burning down, which I've almost done 3 times, if the office was burning down, if my patients were doing their homework, if people felt okay, if people were getting injured. Oh my gosh, the athletes do their performance training. How's everyone feeling? I was living my life for once, and it felt so good. So these are certain things that I know at first we're not good at it, and we have to be intentional and try. But give yourself 30 seconds a day. Do some breathing. 30 seconds a day. Drink that glass of wine. Jam out into your car in the morning to your favorite song. Sing at the top of your lungs. Be in that moment. It feels so good. That is living. Story number 2. We were in Positano on the Amalfi Coast for part 2 of the trip. Incredible, beautiful. It was a little rainy, so some of our day's itinerary and what we thought we were going to do changed. But we had a cooking class, which obviously was more for Josh than me because I don't like cooking, and I was going for the wine and to eat the finished product. So we go down in there. This restaurant is called Max's Restaurant, if you're ever in Positano. And it's also like an art museum too. It was really cool. So we're there at 10 a.m. before it starts. And we're sitting there. Of course, we're the first ones. We're both psychos about being early. It's a thing. Another couple comes down. They're from New Zealand. So cool. Oh my gosh. We were hitting it off, talking, and another gentleman walks in. And turns out he's from Australia. You know, small talk, but nothing crazy. Class gets started. They start demonstrating and pass out glasses of wine. Great. And they have everyone come up and, do a little part. And the guy from Australia was really videoing it. And I was just very intrigued. Like, wow, he's really going to go home and try all these recipes. Like, I hope Josh is paying attention to this. Hopefully we can email him for him to send these videos. But at one point, I asked him, because he was making some jokes, and I was loving it. And I was like, do you want me to film you while you do this? And he's like, oh my gosh, yes. I never get to be part of my own films. I'm very into film. And I was like, awesome, let's do this. So I'm filming him, and I'm trying not to laugh into the camera because he was like performing, and it was hilarious. And you could just tell he was in the moment having a good time. So we're all talking. Class goes on. So much fun. More glasses of wine. How cool. I've been in Australia. I'd love to go back. I was there with Team USA. And New Zealand is also a bucket list trip. So we were all asking each other questions. Of course, not many people have heard of Nashville. So we're telling them that. Turns out the gentleman from Australia shared with us that he just lost his wife and his dog within this last year. Him and his wife were talking about going on this trip, and he decided, I'm going to cry just talking about it. He decided he should still honor that and go and experience it. And in that moment, of course, I'm sitting there trying not to bawl, but in my heart, in my head, I'm like, Audra, he doesn't need you to cry. Like, he needs you to be like, he's just trying to talk. Like, that's the last thing you need to do. So he's talking and going on. And we just thought it was so cool. We're just laughing, cracking jokes. Turns out he's a huge filmmaker in Australia and has done these famous movies. Of course, when he's telling us this, Josh is like, oh my God. And me, I don't even know movies, and I don't really know who people are unless I treat you. I'm just terrible with that stuff. He looked at me, he's like, have you seen this movie? Or I don't know. And I was like, of course not. And if I have, I probably forgot it, unless it's like a romantic comedy or a comedy. And even those I forget too. But it was just really cool that he was going to Florence to meet up with this group who did singing and filmmaking. And it was just so cool to see him seizing the opportunity. Also in that class, the New Zealand couple, she owned her own business. And so her and I were just chatting away about the difficulties and the highlights. And she was asking my advice on a couple things. I was asking her advice, and it was amazing. And towards the end of the class, she told me that she had a brain tumor last year. She was at the beach, and all of a sudden she had a seizure. Turns out she had a meningioma the size of her fist. She pulls up the scans, was telling me everything. She's okay. They got it. But once again, they're like, we talk about all these trips or talk about all these things we want to do. We're doing them. So they were going around Italy for a month. But if you're leaving Australia or New Zealand, it takes forever to get anywhere. Anyone you meet from there tells you that. So once again, someone else is there purposely living in the moment. I also was like, I'm always working. It's so great. It's so wonderful. And it just made me, I was telling the other docs in the office this story earlier this week, and I was like, that just shows, like, if you love what you do, it doesn't feel like work ever, and you're kind of always doing it. Work-life balance, I mean, it's kind of all one if you shift it into one, especially if you're living in the moment. So it's just really cool and such a learning experience and so therapeutic. So we eat so many things. I was actually able to kind of put some things together, which was fun. And they didn't taste like vomit. So success. We leave. My husband and I go down to the water, go for a walk and stuff. And then we were like, let's have some wine. And we all exchanged numbers and emails, which was so cool. And so we ended up texting the gentleman from Australia and said, hey, do you want to join us? He comes down, joins us. We just talk. I mean, it's some of the deepest conversations with a stranger, and we felt like we knew each other forever. And that was incredible. I don't know about you, but I'm over all the superficial fluff talk. Like, if we're going to talk, if we're going to hang, if you're going to be in my office, whatever, let's talk. Like, life is short. Let's just be real. We don't need to be fake. Let's be real. Then that helps you and be in the moment, have less anxiety. Magic. So then after we have those conversations, we get on up and we had dinner reservations. And my husband's like, do you want to go with us? And he goes, I don't want to ruin like a romantic, And we're like, we're together over here like 11 days. It's fine. Like, please come. We would love for you to join us. We have one of the best dinners over there, laughing. It was also such therapy. My husband's father passed away this past year. So they were both able to talk about their recent different experiences in grief. And they both had different perspectives on the death. Like, they wish they would have done this, but then the other person actually did that and wish they would have done the other thing. And it was just so, I don't know, beautiful, magical, healing to see them be able to collaborate and have that conversation and just breathe and just not let it go, but kind of, it's okay. You just never know who you're going to meet, what someone's going through. I mean, all the time, I don't care if it's someone in the grocery store, the barista, someone at the gas station, someone that cut you off in traffic. You have no idea what's going on in that person's life or what news they just found out or what happened. I think we all need to try to give each other a little bit more grace and breath and just try to live in the moment. So, how do you apply this to everyday life? What can you do every day? It sounds easy, but I mean, even for me, I go to do it. I'm like, this is hard. Well, you need to be intentional. If you're having dinner with a friend, put your phone away. If you are working in a meeting, put your phone away. Be there. Be in that moment, because you don't know what is going to happen when you're actually fully present. And just tell yourself, hey, I'll think about all the shit I have to do and worry about in 10 minutes when we finish this conversation. Also, with your workouts, really try to be there. Really try to focus on, oh my gosh, in my squat, are my toes relaxed? Am I feeling the 3 points on my feet? Base of your first toe, fifth toe, and your heel. Push the floor away. Feel all those muscles activate. Breathe into your butthole. I mean, you got it going on. This is why I created De-Stress in 20, to help you have 20 minutes a day to just move your body. You can use this as a mobility sequence. You can use it as a strength sequence, and it's going to activate your muscles and your body and relax your mind. Everyone that's done it is like, this is a relaxation I've never experienced before. All my athletes are obsessed. We kind of put it on steroids and like position specific. And they're all like, this is harder than any weight workout I've ever done. You can make it like that, but you can also make it as easy as you want, or just hold the positions and really focus on your breathing. I do that for a relaxation thing at night. You can also only do one exercise and get it done in 3 minutes. That's the beauty of it. Like, it is so versatile and you can do it anywhere. We did it over there in Italy. I mean, it's amazing. So start today. Change how you're going to move forward. That's all we have is today and right now. Try to live in the moment. We'll link in the show notes the de-stress and money. I want to hear your thoughts about living in the moment. DM me on Instagram at Dr. Audra Lance. Toodaloo.
Now, if you want to do something really special for me and got a lot out of this episode, go leave a 5-star written review of the show on Apple Podcast. And if you're a Spotify listener, just tap the 5 stars. To submit any of your health questions to the show, simply DM me on Instagram at Dr. Audra Lance. And don't worry, all your questions will be kept strictly anonymous. So send me all your embarrassing questions. And don't forget, breathe into your butthole. Toodaloo!